There are two kinds of people in this world: people who think nature is peaceful, and people who know what methane is. Let's talk about the most unexpectedly gorgeous yet low-key dangerous thing freezing quietly in Alberta, Canada. No, not your ex's heart. I'm talking about Abraham Lake and its frozen methane bubbles. Yes, bubbles, as in gas, as in trapped farts, suspended, in ice. And before you roll your eyes, no, this isn't some artsy CGI wallpaper from a YouTube relaxation playlist. This is a real lake, a real gas, a real problem. That looks like frozen fairy tale pancakes, because apparently science doesn't know how to behave. Abraham Lake isn't some ancient, sacred, untouched by man natural wonder. Nope, it's man-made. Yep. Built in the 1970s for hydroelectricity, engineers dammed the North Saskatchewan River and unintentionally created a part-time tourist spot, part-time methane trap. Now here's where it gets weird. Beneath that Instagrammable layer of glassy ice, there's a science experiment brewing every single winter. Here's how it works. When plants and animals die under the water, which they do a lot, they sink to the bottom. And like every good drama, the bottom is where the real mess happens. Down there, bacteria get to work. But not the good, leafy greens and kombucha kind. These bacteria don't need oxygen. They thrive in the dark. And as they eat through all that dead organic matter, they release methane gas. Silent, invisible, unapologetic. Usually that methane just floats up and escapes into the air like your ambition after one all-nighter, but in Abraham Lake, winter hits hard and fast. The lake freezes over before the gas can break free. So what happens? The methane gets trapped in perfectly round white bubbles. Not one, not 10, but thousands, layered in stacks like nature was building a snow-themed lava lamp. Some are tiny like dimes, others as big as dinner plates. And they're all suspended beneath a sheet of ice so clear you'd think God himself wiped it down with Windex. It looks peaceful, calming even, until you realize it's methane. That same gas we try not to talk about after a questionable taco night, the same gas that's 25 times more effective at warming the planet than carbon dioxide. These aren't innocent little soap bubbles. They're flammable spheres of Earth's passive-aggressive warning signs, gift-wrapped in frozen elegance. Now get this. People light them on fire. No joke. There are videos of folks drilling tiny holes into the ice, holding a lighter to the opening and whoosh, fire. Because what else says Canada in the winter like turning a frozen lake into a quiet explosion tutorial? But hold on, why Abraham Lake? Why not any frozen lake in the world? Well, here's the perfect storm. Cold temperatures? Check. Plenty of dead plants and animals? Check. Hungry bacteria? Yep, they're basically the bottom feeders of the microbial world. A shallow, man-made reservoir that freezes fast but lets sunlight in? Oh, absolutely. The result? A methane bubble time capsule. And by the way, the ice isn't just clear for the aesthetic, it's that clear because there's very little sediment or algae in the water. Less gunk means the lake freezes into this eerily transparent sheet, letting you see the bubbles in all their trapped, frozen glory. It's like staring into frozen soda, except if soda could explode and damage the atmosphere. And let's talk layers. Each level of bubbles marks a moment in time. New methane rises, gets trapped, forms a layer, then more gas, another freeze, another layer. The bubbles stack like a to-do list that nature refuses to check off. Sometimes the stacks go meters deep. Frozen gas skyscrapers, if you will. But don't get it twisted. This isn't just pretty scenery, it's a climate red flag. When spring comes, the ice melts and all that trapped methane goes straight into the air. Not great, especially when you consider the sheer amount released across frozen lakes in the northern hemisphere. Abraham Lake's beauty is silently contributing to climate change while people pose on top of it for selfies. And let's not ignore the sound. Ever heard a frozen lake breathe? The cracks and creaks echo through the valley like nature clearing its throat in surround sound. That's the ice shifting under pressure, and honestly, same. What's wild is people fly out just to see it. They hike across it, skate over it, take wedding photos on it, all while casually hovering over methane bombs that were politely stopped by the weather. You have to respect the chaos. But the best part, no one ever suspects danger because it's pretty, because it's quiet, because it's Canada. And that, my friend, is the most Abraham Lake thing about Abraham Lake. A frozen sheet of elegant chaos, gorgeous, quiet, deadly, just like your crush in middle school. So the next time you see one of those aesthetic reels of sparkling frozen bubbles, just remember, that's not just nature being cute, that's bacteria passing gas, the atmosphere losing chill, and human curiosity skating one thin layer away from fiery regret. Anyway, that's Abraham Lake, where bacteria pass gas, nature freezes it mid-escape, and humans travel thousands of miles just to stand over it and say wow, like they're not literally posing on frozen fart bombs. And if that's not enough to mess with your sense of peace, congrats. You're officially unbothered, unmatched, and possibly unemployable in a science lab. Now listen, I won't beg you to subscribe. This isn't a high school group project, but just know, if you made it all the way here and still don't tap that button, that's between you and your Wi-Fi, and maybe karma. Because somewhere out there, a methane bubble is rising through the ice, full of dreams, whispering, maybe, just maybe, this one will subscribe. And if you scroll past, that bubble pops. Its dreams, gone. Its legacy, wasted. All because you couldn't commit. So yeah, do what you want. But don't make the bubbles cry, bro, that's cold.